look at most Americans over 65 closely involved with their families. Only about 1/8 of all elderly Americans live with a relative other than husband or wife. Now, retirement communities, yes, health care. The federal government administers Medicare, a medical insurance program for senior citizens that pays part of their expenses for physicians and hospital care. Yes. Now, that's really good. Why don't we call them Medicare? I'd just like to know of all the payments that are being paid from Medicare. Well, it's not that I don't have a valid driver's license. I'm kind of concerned that the police department intentionally put homeless on the traffic citation so it wouldn't be sent to my last known address. And then the court wouldn't have been notified that I'm no longer residing there. Yes. And the return service requested. I looked at this, what's called indicia. They give an example, whomever the individual was that I copied and pasted. Yeah, that sometimes you get samples in the mail or maybe something from Medicare, and there could be certain federal laws in violating putting homeless on a traffic citation. Now, let's say it violated Social Security law, it violated Medicare law, it violated state Medicaid law, it violated United States Postal Service law to put on a traffic citation homeless. It could be a multi-hundred fucking billion dollar day right now. Now, look at what you did. You got upset, and then I got upset. Now, when I really think about it, yes, since well, I think putting a homeless on a traffic citation violates all the necessary mailing requirements of anything and everything from the federal government. Now, there is one return address that could or does result in you being issued a failure to appear. Yeah. But nobody thought it important to protect my right to get notice of court hearings. No one thinks it's important that I have the right to get notice of court hearings. Well, let's call Medicare. Yeah. And let's find every senior citizen in the United States where you said, well, we don't have to give them notice and opportunity to be heard. Now, there's lots of different discrimination. I'm going to be 49. Yeah. And I'm wanting to reside with my family, and I kept telling you that. And you said, well, we don't really have to do what the law says. We don't have to do it. No. But there's what's known as public records. Why don't we look through the arrest record of every person on AARP, yes, and Medicare for the last 20 years? How many of them have gotten arrested? Pilch. Now, I would say if that's your first time as arrest, yes, I'd be concerned about it because if you're 65 or over and haven't been arrested, no, it sounds stupid. If you're 65 and older, yes, and you have not been arrested, and your first arrest happens after the age of 65, what would be my concern as a citizen? Something went wrong. Yes. For some reason, you lived for 65 years without an arrest. Yes. Now, if you're a police department, every time you put a senior citizen in jail, yes, yes, there. Well, did they have a prior arrest record before you arrested them? Now, for myself, I'd never been arrested before the age of 40. Yeah, nobody had ever reported any crime involving myself. But some reason I got my record expunged, and I keep getting arrested because nobody really believes that there are certain requirements. Now, discriminating against me because of age? Yes. Am I too old for this? Marriage license? Yes. Let's see here. Yeah. BUDNICK? Yeah. Parent or guardian's consent. I noticed 3 days later that Berna was there. Yes, but during the actual application, it was Eunice and Clara. Now, I know that when you go to apply for these things, and both my parents said they were 18 at the time of the application, is it possible that they forged their actual parents' signature when doing this? Yes. And then when the actual marriage took place, how much did their parents know about what they were doing? See, My concern is that somebody, yes, was lying about their age because my mother was pregnant. So now the marriage certificate, Sandra Lee Condit, looks a little different than Sandra Sandy Lee. Bremerton, birthplace Paul D. Budnick. Yeah, looks like you spelled the name correct, or is that incorrect? Yes. Now, just wanting to know of all these records, yes. Mutual assent, Verna Galt. What does Verna know about the actual marriage of my mother and my father? Verna, the Galts, yes. Uh-huh. Did Verna Jean get pregnant in Port Angeles, Washington before she was married? And Cora Lee being the elder of the two Galt, well, that I grew up with. Anthony was born much later. Yes. Did Verna Jean have marriage outside of marriage? Now I don't know what Bruce and Verna Jean did, but it could have been that she was up here visiting her Uncle Ray and somebody knocked her up.